Okay, so I just saw this week's episode, and well, I'm not so sure about this one. I think a lot of people might not like it. It had some problems. I still enjoyed it, but obviously I have some things to say. So the episode starts out how it's supposed to, with Mando and Bo-Katan leading off from the last episode, and we get a chase where they're being chased by TIE fighters, and it's cool and everything. But then the show cuts to Coruscant, and the whole episode focuses on this Dr. Pershing guy who we saw in the previous seasons, and I didn't mind that because it's cool to see Coruscant, and obviously this episode is important, and I'm sure what they're setting up will come into play later down the road in future episodes. But it pains me to say, but this was kind of like the first filler episode, the first ever filler episode which I've ever seen, which is weird because there hasn't been a single episode like this in this show. This actually felt more like an episode of Andor, to be honest. It felt more like that show, where it was more slower paced and was kind of setting things up for the future. Mandalorian has sort of never been like this before, so it took me off guard a bit, and I don't know, it kind of made me feel shortchanged a little bit when it ended. So that's odd. That's odd for me. You know, usually this takes me to my happy place, but it didn't really take me to my happy place today. Like, I don't want to bash this episode and say it was crap. It definitely wasn't crap, but it just surprised me, that's all. I enjoyed the idea of these former Imperials becoming sort of de-radicalized and being reconditioned and allowed to rejoin society. I thought that was good, and we meet this former Imperial who was on Moff Gideon's ship, and she's a bit suspicious, and well, I could tell what was going to happen. It felt pretty obvious to me that she wasn't right, and that, you know, she was scheming and up to no good, and she had some agendas or whatever. The twist didn't surprise me, so it kind of wasn't, I loved being in Coruscant though. It felt very Blade Runner-esque, and we saw a lot of the sights that looked familiar, like the Opera House scene from Revenge of the Sith. It was cool to see that, and there was a lot of world building. You know, it's what I love about Star Wars. You know, exploring this giant world, and it feels massive. You know, seeing that wreckage of the Star Destroyer, that was quite cool. There's a bit though where they were eating these ice lolly things, and I don't know, they looked a bit awkward. Looked a bit awkward. I liked the bit on the train. That was cool. I could relate to what they were doing because I've ticket dodged before. You know, when the ticket man is coming to check the tickets and you're like, fuck it, hide in the toilets. I've been there. We've all done that at some point in our lives, so I can relate to that. Oh, and I liked the guy, the creature. He looked funny, whoever that guy was. And I quite like the Dr. Pershing as a character. I don't hate him, and I kind of feel sorry for him. You know, he's not completely competent and experienced in these types of situations. He's not your typical character who's all heroic and amazing at everything, but I'm sure he'll probably grow and change over time if he survives, of course, because last time we see him he's having his head tampered with or whatever. You know, he's useful, but he's not like a badass. You know, he can be easily tricked. But it's refreshing because not every character has to be a gunslinging badass or a cool Jedi. So it was interesting to follow him on this story. And look, clearly the guy wanted to bang that former Imperial woman, you know? He has a thing for the short-haired ladies, obviously. You know, he was simping. So he thought, if I do this, then maybe she might bang me, you know? Poor chap. Never simp. You should never simp. To me, I just want everyone to bang each other, you know? Someone please bang someone, for God's sake. There was some banging in Andor, so why not? Why not here? Anyway, I need to get my mind out of the gutter. Just because two people of the opposite sex are interacting, it doesn't mean they need to bang each other. So the episode ends with Mando and Bo again, and Mando takes her to the armorer, and he's like, "Hey guys, this is my new girlfriend." Ha 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 ha. No, he didn't really say that. He says to the armorer, "Hey, we jumped in the waters of Mandalore, so can I rejoin this weird cult again, please?" And she's like, "Yes, okay. And your girlfriend can join it also if she wants." So yeah, Bo-Katan is allowed to join, but she's got to keep her helmet on, so I don't know how she feels about that. So that's interesting. I thought the armorer was going to be like, "But Din, I thought you were dead!" But it turns out that she is actually, you know, she didn't say that. Maybe she's not a villain, as I thought, which I spoke about in my last review. You know, in my last review, I speculated that maybe she sent Din on a suicide mission to go drown himself or something, but that was just speculation, and it was just buzzing around my brain. Luckily, Bo was there to rescue him, but the armourer didn't know about that, didn't know about her, so who knows. So anyway, the episode ends, and in the first time in forever, I was left a bit flaccid. I'll be honest, gents. Yep, I was left a bit flaccid. I usually don't feel that way after an episode of Mandalorian, but this left me wanting more. And okay, I'm not like super upset or anything, you know, this is not a negative review. You know, I like seeing Coruscant, you know, the world building and everything there was great. Coruscant looked great. Oh, you know, overall I liked the episode. It's just not what I was expecting. Obviously there's things there setting up for next week, but I don't know. It's it's okay for shows to branch out and tell different stories, but I was kind of hoping for this episode to focus, you know, on Mando and Bo and what's going on there with little baby Yoda and that story. And you know, and will Bo and Mando, will they bang? That's all I care about. Will they bang? But no, when it ended, and it was a long episode as well. It's long enough, nice long episode, you know, definitely enough time. But no, when it ended, I was just like, oh, what? So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed. So anyway, those are my thoughts, and I'll leave it here for now until next time. Goodbye.